All right, it's day 83 that we're covering today. So please get your worksheet and we'll go ahead and get started. Capitalization, it's all review. So please try that on your own. And then at the end of the video, you can check and see if what you came up with was correct. Okay, so at punctuation, I was reading over the rule and I just want you to read it carefully because it might seem like it contradicts a previous rule that you had learned. It says, if two or more possess separate items, use an apostrophe with each. For example, Rob's and Andrea's trucks. Okay, so that means that each of them owned the truck. They weren't sharing a truck because we've had 2 days in the past where we learned that when they share an object, only the second person has the apostrophe S. But they're not sharing here. Rob has a truck and Andrea has a truck. They're not sharing it, so it's Rob's and Andrea's trucks. Okay? So in the sentence that we're reading right now, we'll see that, again, these people aren't sharing. All right? So what it says is, after your short breakfast, will you place Tony's and Beth's snowboards on the top of your car, please? Okay, so what we've got going on here is there are several snowboards apparently, and some of them belong to Tony and some of them belong to Beth, and they're not sharing them. There's not just one. All right, so that tells you that there's going to be apostrophe S's for both of them. So let's take a look at the whole sentence. After your short breakfast, comma, all right, whenever you have an introductory prepositional phrase like that, there would be a comma after it. After your short breakfast, comma, will you place Tony's, apostrophe S, and Beth's, apostrophe S, snowboards on the top of your car, comma, please, question mark. All right, so you have that comma before please, so that it is set off from the rest of the sentence. And then they're asking a question, so there's a question mark. Oops, I forgot to flip this over. Okay, so this is what it should look like. Okay, moving right along to phrases and clauses. Write DC if the group of words is a dependent clause and IC if the group of words is an independent clause. Okay, so if we have clauses here, we know that this group of words is going to have what? It's going to have a subject and a verb. But whether it's independent is what we have to determine. Is it, does this subject and verb make sense standing on its own, or will it need more information? If it needs more information, then it's a dependent clause. If it can stand on its own as an independent sentence, it's an IC, or independent clause. So let's see what they've got for us. Which collapsed near the bleachers. That is not something that can stand on its own. That would be a DC. Unless you cooperate. Again, we've got a subject and a verb, you cooperate, but unless you cooperate is not an independent clause. It is a dependent clause. It doesn't make sense all by itself. That I promised to return. Again, you have a subject and a verb, but it doesn't make sense standing on its own. We need more information. So that is also a dependent clause. Then lastly, the referee made an incorrect call. That would be an IC. That's an independent clause. And that sentence is appropriate because for those of you who play, I'm doing this between your games on Saturday, and I do believe there was 1 or 2 incorrect calls made by the referee in the previous basketball game. All right, moving along now, we come to parts of speech, interjections, and nouns. These are both areas of review. They want you to circle any interjections. What's an interjection? An interjection is a word that is not necessary in the sentence, and it's usually thrown in there to show emotion, like hooray, or ope, or oops. Those are interjections. Wow. Box any proper nouns. Proper nouns, those are nouns that require capitalization. They are usually like people's names, town names, things like that. So reading the sentence, we have, yeah, Kent and his dad are coming to Kansas for a conference. Okay, what's the interjection? Yeah, it's got an exclamation point. That's another clue that it's probably an interjection. So yeah is an interjection. And then the proper nouns would be Kent and Kansas. Oh, you know what? I don't think I showed before. 3, you can double check to make sure your answers for DCs and ICs look right. And then there's the answer for that sentence. Wow, this was a short day. Woohoo! Last thing you have to do is sentence combining. And you guys can do that, and I'll take a look at them when I correct your papers. You should have done your capitalization by now. So let's take a look and see if what you have matches what I have. The sentence was, Nancy Kerrigan, a skating champion, won a bronze medal during the 1992 Winter Olympics in Albertville, France. So you can see here which words need to be capitalized. All right. Good job, guys. God bless you.